Will the jurors and the defendant remain standing? All others may be seated.
Madam Forelady, has your jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
On count 1, strangulation or suffocation, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On count 2, the charge of assault and battery, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Madam Forelady, members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
So say all members of the jury.
Yes.
Stefon Diggs walked out that courtroom yesterday a free man. The more I think about it, the more I look at the receipts, the testimony, the timeline, I'm beginning to understand why. Cue the clip.
This that raymundoreacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stay for the commentary cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.
Now, if you're just tuning in, here's the situation. On December 2nd, 2025, Stefon Diggs is at his home in Dedham, Massachusetts. His live-in personal chef, a woman named Mila Adams, goes by Mila. She accuses him of entering her room, smacking her across the face with an open hand, and then wrapping his arm around her neck, choking her. That's the allegation. He was charged with felony strangulation and misdemeanor assault. He pleaded not guilty from day one. And yesterday, after a 2-day trial, a jury came back in 90 minutes with a not guilty verdict on both counts. Now, here's what I want you to understand about why this story matters beyond the headline. It wasn't just that he had a good legal team. It wasn't just that there was no physical evidence. It's that the story this chef told, it kept shifting. And that's where everything starts to fall apart.
Former New England Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs found not guilty by a Massachusetts jury on that felony charge of strangulation.
Let me take you back to day one of the trial because this is where the narrative actually cracked. Mila Adams gets on the stand, and the first thing she addresses is her relationship with Stefon Diggs. And y'all need to hear how she described it. She said, and I'm quoting directly, "It started off as friends, became sexual, and we would meet up and hang out. We decided I would come work for him in February of 2025.
Adams says years prior, the pair met on Instagram, began a sexual relationship that turned professional as he mounted a comeback from a season-ending injury.
The start of our initially hiring me, he was coming back. It was his comeback year. And I wanted to help him get healthy.
I know what you was helping him with. Yeah, a healthy serving of that BBL you got back there.
You know me first thing in the morning. Bang, 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 bang.
Now here's the timeline you gotta pay attention to. Stefon Diggs and Cardi B went public in October of 2024, and by February of 2025, they were engaged. That's the same month Mila Adams moved into the house, making $2,000 a week, and the occasional cheeks. So you have a woman that's been sexually involved with this man, moving into his house, cooking his meals, but yet he's publicly engaged. And she called their relationship complicated. That ain't complicated. That's a situation with unresolved emotions and unclear boundaries. And nobody established what the rules actually were. And the argument that allegedly triggered the assault, it wasn't about her job. It wasn't about food. It was about a trip to Miami that she got left off of. She was upset as an employee about not being taken on a trip. That alone tells you this professional line had been crossed way before December 2nd.
Adams says things soured over her relationship with another Diggs staffer, and when she was not included on a bi-week trip to Miami.
Me and his girlfriend, Cardi B, we were talking about having like outfits and stuff. It was like a whole thing being planned.
Oh, you mad. You big man.
All right, now here's where things really come undone. And I need you to stay with me for a second. December 29, 2025, that's the day, the exact day that Mila Adams filed on her criminal charges. that Mila Adams filed a criminal complaint against Stefon Diggs. On that same day, a team also made a financial request, $19,000. She testified it was for unpaid wages. Fine. Then in February of 2026, she goes public with a story that she never asked for any money from Stefon Diggs. Never asked for any money. Now fast forward 3 weeks before the trial starts. Diggs' legal team reveals something. Her lawyers had reached out and demanded $5.5 million. $5.5 million.
She had submitted the same receipt multiple times over 6 months. That's what Stefon Diggs' financial manager told the jury, describing what she found when she pulled every payment ever made to his accuser, Mila Adams. Melissa Goddard testified on December 1st, 2025, one day before Adams claims Diggs attacked her. Adams sent in an invoice. She was demanding payment for 3 weeks of work and reimbursable expenses. Goddard told the jury she knew immediately something was wrong. She had already personally paid Adams for 2 of those 3 weeks. So she did what she does on the business side. She launched a full audit. She pulled every single payment made to Adams over the previous 18 months. Then she went through every receipt and reimbursement Adams had submitted in the last 6 months. What she found stopped her cold. Adams had been submitting the same receipts over and over again.
So the question the defense is now asking, and the question any rational person watching this should be asking, is this a woman seeking justice, or is this a woman seeking a settlement? Because those are 2 different things, and the jury clearly saw the distinction. But the part that really sealed it for me was what happened on day 2 inside that courtroom. Diggs' defense attorney goes directly at Adams about the $5.5 million demand. Ms. Adams, 3 weeks ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from Stefon Diggs, correct? You know what she did? She pivoted. She said that Diggs had offered her $100,000 to recant her statement. That response struck from the record immediately, non-responsive. And the judge, Judge Carroll, stopped the entire proceeding and read this woman the riot act on live camera. She said, and I'm quoting her directly, "This is not an opportunity for you to interject your own narrative and evade responding to questions the court deems appropriate. And if you continue to do so, your entire testimony may be stricken." A judge almost threw out her entire testimony. Then when they came back to the $5.5 million question, she invoked attorney-client privilege in open court in a criminal trial, claiming privilege on a demand your lawyers made to the defendant. That is not attorney-client privilege. That is a dodge, and the jury saw it for exactly what it was.
In cross-examination, Diggs' defense began poking holes in the difference between Adams' testimony and the police report she filed 2 weeks after the alleged incident, including deleted text messages and no photographic evidence of alleged injuries.
And you didn't think it was important to record your injuries or take photos.
Oh, that look like somebody doing a money dance if you ask me. Yo, if you still tuned in, make sure you hit the like button, hit the sub, and hype this video up. No photos taken after the alleged assault, 2-week delay in reporting, inconsistencies between her testimony and the original police report. Multiple witnesses, friends, employees who all testified she showed no visible signs of injury in the days following the incident. The defense told the jury there was not a single shred of credible evidence that an assault occurred. 90 minutes of deliberation. So where does Stefon Diggs go from here? Let's be honest about what a not guilty verdict does and does not mean. Not guilty does not mean nothing happened. It means the state could not prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the legal standard, and that standard exists for a reason. What it does mean, practically speaking, is that the path back to the NFL just got significantly clearer. He's been a free agent since the Patriots released him in March. He's a 4-time Pro Bowl wide receiver who led that same team on a Super Bowl run this past season. The talent hasn't gone anywhere. His defense team is already saying some NFL team will sign him. And look, The history of this league bears that out. The NFL doesn't have the cleanest track record when it comes to sitting out talent over unproven allegations. They're going to conduct their own investigation. That's standard protocol after any criminal case. But from a roster standpoint, somebody's going to make that call. Now, here's the bigger conversation I want to leave you with. We live in an era where social media convicts people before the jury even sits down. And when the verdict doesn't match the mob's conclusion, the response is almost always the system failed. But sometimes, and this is the part that makes people uncomfortable, sometimes the evidence just doesn't hold up. Both sides of this story have people who got hurt, but only one side got to speak under oath. And under oath with lawyers pressing, with a judge watching, the story didn't hold. That's just my opinion. What would you have done if you were Stefon Diggs sitting at that table, listening to someone tell a story about your life with a $5.5 million demand attached to it? How would you have responded? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, make sure you're locked in. Hit that sub button to the right and to the left for more dope content. Until then, I'm out.
This that Raymundo reacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stay for the commentary, cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.